Hi, Bio 4. We're ready to go down the non-muscular structure. So you have that listed for you. And here we go. These are not really muscles. They're mostly fascia, tendons, and we'll look at them separately. So the first one that you have on your list is the Linea Auba. And to remember that, that translates to the white, Auba, white line. So the white line is some fascia that comes down the very center here and very visible on our cadavers, and that would be the Linea Auba. You had Linea Aspera on the femur, remember? The rough line. This is the white line. And so there you can see it really well here also. The Tendinous Inscriptions are these tendons that are around. What muscle is this? You should know that by now, right? Rectus abdominis. Rectus abdominis. Okay. Iliotibial band. So the iliotibial band, or the IT band, is this band, also fascia, that comes all the way down the thigh, down to the leg. And we talked about this muscle here previously, which is the tensor of the fascia lata, or the tensor of the iliotibial band, really. So it is all this fascia that comes down, very white on the cadaver, very strong, dense connective tissue. IT band. Next, femoral artery. When we do our dissection, the femoral artery is quite easy to see. It is very thick and sort of rubbery, also white. Here it's been colored so that you recognize it. And in the picture, and just in a diagram, it shows the abdominal aorta that's going to branch. And you have this very big, long artery that's coming medially down the medial side of the femur. Okay, and that is the femoral artery. Right next to it would be the femoral vein. So look, here you can actually see the artery. See, I'm going to follow it. This is the artery right here, sort of more rigid, more muscle on it. And right next to it would be the femoral vein. They travel parallel. Sciatic nerve. So this would be posterior. And we see it under the piriformis that you haven't looked at yet, this muscle. And then it's coming down the posterior part of the leg. Look here, they didn't highlight it, but it continues on here all the way down the leg. That is a very big nerve, and it's the sciatic nerve. Gives lots of people pain. So if this piriformis, you probably know stretches that stretch the piriformis. Because if this gets tight, it can compress on the sciatic nerve, and then you feel a pain in the glutes here, and then traveling all the way down the back of the leg, and that can be pretty aggravating. Calcaneal tendon. This is the Achilles tendon, but in anatomy we call it the calcaneal tendon, and that's where it would be. All right, Flexor Retinaculum. This is another tissue, connective tissue, that is, we think of it as a bracelet. It's sort of a bracelet on your wrist that's going to hold all those muscles and tendons of those muscles that are coming into the hand together so that they don't flop out on you. So it's just a wristband that's going to hold all of that together. We talked about it before when we talked about the nerve that can get compressed there and give you the tingling in the hands, correct? Extensor Retinaculum is really the same thing, but on the extensor side or on the posterior. So let me go back. Flexor Retinaculum, so side of the palm of the hand, and this is posterior, would be Extensor Retinaculum. And these are all the little tendons coming to the fingers. Very cool. Patellar ligament. So if the patella, if I could sort of draw it in, we're right there, right? The patellar ligament is what is going to, patella is within the ligament that is going to attach onto the tibial tuberosity. Patellar ligament. Another very strong, sturdy fascia is the thoracolumbar. So coming from sort of region of the thorax to the lumbar region, so we call it thoracolumbar fascia. It appears very wide on the cadaver. We've colored it, of course, here for you to see that it's very visible post-dissection. Anterior cruciate ligament. So this we looked at it in lecture. So it's coming, if it's anterior, it's coming to the anterior tibia, correct? And that is it right there, coming to the anterior tibia, because the tibial tuberosity is there, so we know that's anterior. And that was the last one of the non-muscular structures that you need to know. Okay, thanks for listening.